Last year, I did a review of an anime series on Netflix called Aggretsuko, which I called a must-watch and one of my favorite shows that season. Likewise, when covering the Christmas special a few months back, I thought it was quite fun and found it to be a nice way to bridge the gap until Season 2. As you may have guessed from the title, Aggretsuko Season 2 hit Netflix not too long ago, and so here I am to give my thoughts on it and discuss how I think it stacks up to the season before it. Before I jump into my review though, I'd love to know your thoughts on all this. Whether it be during or after the video, feel free to voice your opinions in the comments below. With that out of the way, let's jump in. Similar to last season, Aggretsuko Season 2 consists of 10 15-minute long episodes that follow Retsuko, a 25-year-old anthropomorphic red panda, as she deals with the frustrations in her life. This time around, however, not only does she have to deal with stuff like crappy superiors and the daily grind, but she also has a slew of new problems to deal with, such as the hypersensitive new colleague she is in charge of training, and her mother constantly pushing her towards marriage. And so, the series once again follows the misadventures of a seemingly meek office girl who secretly vents herself through death metal. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest, but I found this season of the show to be a bit underwhelming. Well, that is not to say that this season was bad by any means, I just think that there were quite a few things that stopped it from being a 10 out of 10 experience like Season 1. For starters, I felt the story beats felt way too similar to those of last season. For instance, in Season 1, Retsuko battles the daily troubles of being a worker in Japan, deals with annoying coworkers, and meets a love interest that is not as perfect as her rose-colored glasses lead her to believe. After some help from her friends and a surprising heart-to-heart from her boss Tan, Retsuko comes to her senses and realizes that this is not the life she wants to lead. What happens in Season 2? The exact same things. Even down to another heart-to-heart with Tan that, I kid you not, happens in the exact same place as last time. Well, to be fair, the things she deals with aren't exactly the same, and it does make sense to run into a lot of recurring problems like office troubles or failed romances. I just wish that they had introduced some more variety to the things she deals with. Another thing that I saw as a negative this season is that a lot of characters in the Aggretsuko universe got very little play this time around. While last season was filled with a quirky cast of supporting characters, such as the gym bro kangaroo, perky manipulative deer, and inept elephant CEO, many characters either don't make an appearance or have a very brief one if they do. Even characters like Haida and Feneko, who are supposed to be good friends of Retsuko, and in the case of Haida a potential love interest, had very little to do this time around. Haida's place in the story in particular was strange to me, because it feels like pretty much all development and his and Retsuko's relationship is completely ignored and moved back to square one. Finally, I felt like another negative against this season is that quite a few things that were made to seem important in the first few episodes, and even the trailers, ended up going nowhere. A good example of this is Retsuko's mom. Well, I feel like they really pushed forward the idea that Retsuko's mom would play a large part this season, and I thought she would be hanging around for the majority of it. She only really shows up for a few episodes and doesn't really do much. Sure, she does get the ball rolling in regards to the romance aspect this season, but that is way less than the trailers would have you believe. Though I don't want to get too into it due to spoilers, trust me when I say that quite a few things are like this, where you go in expecting one thing, only for it to be kind of irrelevant only a few episodes later. With that being said, although I've had plenty of complaints about the show, that does not mean that it doesn't have its positives as well. For instance, I really enjoy how relatable the whole thing continues to be. Not only do I see a lot of myself in Retsuko, in terms of the more general stuff like wondering what I really want from life, or feeling frustration with superiors at work, but even really specific stuff, like the little grow up speech her mom gives her, are stuff that I've experienced. While in my case it wasn't my mom I had to deal with, I have indeed had a handful of people basically make me feel like trash as they question my inability to get married and start a family like a normal person. On second thought, saying that I enjoy how relatable it is might be the wrong term, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that it is nice to see I'm not alone in what I deal with. Another thing that I thought was good this season was the humor. Once again filled with fun character interactions, gags, and all sorts of humorous situations that Retsuko gets herself into, I'm glad that the show continues to balance the more dramatic slice of life stuff with moments that can make you laugh. Though they might not really mean much out of context, some of my personal favorite moments this season were Retsuko backing down from one of her death metal songs when she realizes she is more freaked out than angry, the cooking rap during the family appreciation day that comes out of nowhere, and Retsuko and her friend Gory attending the same speed dating event where they lie to make themselves look better. So in conclusion, is this season of Aggretsuko bad? No. And in fact, I would say that it has enough going for it that I'd still recommend it. However, with a handful of negatives, such as retreading a lot of the content from season 1, cutting back on a lot of the supporting characters, and setting some stuff up as important, only to move away from it, I do find season 2 to be a bit disappointing. But hey, that's just my opinion. And remember, don't take anything I say too seriously. After all, I'm just a wannabe reviewer. Thanks for watching.